music's on. Alright. In our previous episode, we settled the small riverside town of Stahlo Bay, named after a population of First Nations people who lived in this valley for approximately 10,000 years prior to the settlement of Europeans. So, as you can see here, we are pretty well primed to continue our agricultural expansion here. We got a little trading post here. People can go down the river to Vancouver. There is a lot of room here to expand. So I imagine the residents of Stahlo Bay, as we zoom in on them now, well, they've probably been writing all sorts of letters and sending out all sorts of telegraphs to people back home saying, my goodness, if you are looking to farm, have we got the place for you? Come on up here. And come on up they shall. So, I imagine one of our first points of business here, given the fact that there's no actual road or rail connections anywhere, is that we will want to establish a port of some sort. That might be our first order of business here today. And with the port, we will also have some civic development. And what I mean by that is fire stations, hospitals, schools, police. Nothing big. This is still a very humble riverside town at this point. But, yeah, the riverside towns of Riverside and Crossroads and Scoro Hills. Those are the three settlements here at Stahlo Bay. We got some smaller, unnamed, unincorporated communities out here. Right now, the big ones are Scoro Hills, Riverside, and Crossroads. Well, let's see here. Status report. Environment's great. We'll solve that soon. Traffic's good. No traffic jams in this small town. Health is bad. Safety's bad. Education's bad. Land value is on the bad side of mediocre. The river helps us a lot with that. Well, let's go ahead and get a seaport going. And here's something I'm using. Mr. Troussage's local seaport. This is a modded seaport because the base game seaport, in addition to having some graphical issues, does not actually relieve your industrial demand cap. My goodness. So what's even the damn point? Well, let's see. We got this big flat concrete slab here. Where are we best situated to maybe put this? Oh, here we go. It seems over here makes the most sense. This is going to be an expensive thing, but we are making a healthy profit. And I certainly know that the people at the factories and farms here would love to get their products out to folks in the city. Oh wait, we can have it here as well. The river is narrow here, the Stahlo River. We could have it directly onto the harbor. Well, I do want to build a bridge. This would be a nice excuse to build a bridge. Well, I have to build a bridge regardless of where I put it. Because it certainly can't go over here. We can't demolish the whole precious little town there. Alright, let's build it right across from the this town of Riverside here. Right about here seems adequate. Ooh, that is not very deep water. Where do we... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Alright, let's flatten this out just a little bit, just so we can get a road going to it. Doing the old silly thing of putting a bunch of road tiles there. There we go. Okay, we got our little port again. Okay. Well, the best areas to cross would probably be, oh goodness, all the way up here. Well, one of this game's biggest limitations is that you can't make a diagonal bridge. Sad to say. But right here seems perfectly fine. Well, it is a small settlement here. Let's just make a little covered bridge here. Laying low to the ground here. There's not going to be any ferries going up there anytime soon, so... We got our little port side road here. Let's see how much of an incline this has to go up. Goodness. Well, maybe we can sort of flatten that out a little bit. Okay, that's a little... That is a big hill for a semi-truck to go down, but it would be hard to do it any other way. Alright, well now we got a new crossroads up here. We got this lovely bridge at the town. And let's go ahead and say that this connects up here too, just for the purposes of, well, why the hell wouldn't it, right? Right. Alright, well, one interesting thing is that bridges carry electricity, so you don't always need to have power lines going across. Which is nice, because I'd hate to ruin the view of this beautiful river, the Stahlo, not the Stahlo, it's the Stahlo River. There's Scoro Hill, Stahlo Bay. Trying very hard to keep my story straight here. Alright. Well, across the bridge here is the new country store. And then we have some of our little precious farms here. Dr. Vu came to my accountant in a dream promising money. That's because we've spent a lot of money. We started off with, we have burned through $90,000 here. And what did that get us? This. But it's a profitable town, and we got a port. So who's complaining? Not I. We'll get some of these little Canadian-style narrow farm plots going here. These farms will greatly appreciate having the port nearby, for sure. You're out of money. Let's take a loan. We got the money. Let's take a loan of... See, we don't even have to do anything with that loan. We can just... Boom, there we go. Look at that. Look at that beautiful little 3D boat that just popped up there. Mr. Trusage's local seaport. There we go. And the boat takes off to go, the wrong way. Where are you going, buddy? Well, looks like that little wooden covered bridge is not long for this world. Oh wait, he's just popping a quick U-turn here. You know what? We will, let's just leave them to it. What's in the news? City spread means trouble ahead, my advisor's saying. Hey, maybe we should actually make a town. Lack of public water limits growth. Pavement don't breathe, we need trees, we want schools, parks. Our slums hold meager development promise. And that people like the farms. Okay, well that's good. Well, I think I have a solution to all our problems here. I think with some education, we can create a better breed of ship captain, perhaps. And I think it's time for some more residential development here. We're going to take care of that little dirt plot there, and this one as well. We've been really eating into these farms here. Nice little even streets and alleyways. That is the good thing about having farms so close by, is that you can just sort of demolish them, and then you got a nice little chunk of land in which to develop. Alright, so we want more shops and we want more houses. Easy enough. Well, it seems like a great spot for some houses. The game even agrees with me there. Some more houses here would be nice, I suppose. Maybe I'll make that something of a Main Street area there. Alright, and then we get some small little shops over yonder. Excellent. They seem to like that. And now our first little schoolhouse up here on the prairie. Let's spot this. Over here, let's say. Lovely. And now let's take some of this vacant land here we have and make our first little small park. Like a gazebo. Gazebos are actually one of the most pleasant parks you can imagine. This is actually a little unlevel here. Let's flatten this out just a wee bit, just so our park looks nice on the hill here. Gazebos are great, because think about what it is. If you were in a small town and you want to have some sort of outdoor community area, you can't do much better than a gazebo. It is covered from the rain, plenty of space. You can have a little guy there playing a trumpet or something, or a man doing spoken word poetry, won't get wet. Amazing. Anyways. Alright, we got these small businesses developing here. They like the port, I think. No one's going there. Where's your freight going? Nowhere. These guys don't want to actually use the port. Freight trips, long. Okay. Fair enough. Well, once these little farms here develop, we might see people changing their tune. Well, let's get some houses for you to work on these farms from. There we go. That's a nice little plot of land. And we can even make a couple more country stores here. There we go. Lovely. Well, while we're waiting on that to happen over there, let's speed up time a little bit. School. People are filling up the school. Let's boost up that funding. Get the school buses out. There we go. So even in Crossroads, people are coming in from Crossroads to go to this school. Does not quite go up to Stahlo Hills, which is ironic because this is actually good real estate except for the massive dump here. Another thing we could start doing is, we are coming close to running out of available land over here. Still plenty of land down here for development, but pretty soon, if people want to live here, we'll have to start expanding up north and east and south. Not much going on up west here. There's this beautiful little mountain valley here, but doesn't make much sense to live there at this point if it's a farm economy. So, having said that, once we have a little more money, ooh, goodness, farmer's market, this is pretty much the peak of nice things here. Let's put this between our two towns here on this main road. Boom. Okay. Here's why the farmer's market is so damn good. It improves the health of the people living here without a hospital. People are getting their fresh fruits and veggies here. It's nutritious for them. People love it. Look at this. Huge crowd of people cheering for the farmer's market. And they got a shitload of plums here. Lovely. This increases our residential demand by a lot. The farmer's market turns a small patch of homesteads into a real agrarian economy. Still a lot of demand for houses here, but these aren't getting filled up as fast as I'd like, but we'll still, let's see here, that looks grand. I think it's time for us to have a small water tower here. I think this town is big enough that people aren't relying on well water anymore. It's time for a public water utility. Well, let's put that up in the hills, away from all the farmland. It's time for Stahlo Hills, time to shine. Water loves to go downhill, so it only fits that our water utility would be uphill. Alright, we go into the town of Crossroads here. Lovely, we got a nice little pipe network going. Folks are well serviced here, but we are definitely at capacity right from the get-go. Oh, well, look at this. A bigger factory has come to town. The mixing unit. And our first church. The center of community life in our little town here. Well, this looks like an excellent spot for a church. There we go. That's why it's so good having a little bit of unused land at the edge of town there. This little church is soon to become the center of the community. But right now, it's just a little church house at the edge of town. How much use is this pork getting? Not much. Here's our small little farming community. Let's have a couple homesteads here. Excellent. Grave need in Stahlo Bay. And the power plant's over capacity. Well, I needed an excuse to mess around with those anyways. The graveyard. Well, how about just right here? Edge of town, historic place. People like living next to the graves of their ancestors, I find. Yeah, maybe we'll keep this little stable here just as like the town livery. Historic little livery. Meanwhile, this gives us room to expand even further. And, well, let's merge the two towns. We are here. The town has arrived. Crossroads and Riverside are now one and the same. This is something that happens all throughout history. A lot of neighborhood names come from what the name of the town used to be before it was a big old city. Alright, let's put this here, over yonder. This road will connect there. We got sort of a mismatched grid here because all these little offshoots are connecting and expanding and extending. There we go. That looks fine. And fine it is. There we go. Lots of good residential development happening here. We'll watch and learn. There we go. Excellent. Oh, right, the power crisis. Well, I have an easy solution for that. We can build enough windmills up on this windy ridge here to the point that we can start selling power to a residential city next door. We are establishing a proper utility company now. The Stahlo Bay Electric Company. They will do brisk business. Let's see. Lovely. Alright, we got a nice little wind farm up on the hill here. Not polluting. I find windmills are underutilized. Oh goodness, that is that. We are back to our old budget crisis days here. Well, where's our money coming from? It's mostly coming from residential folks here, so let's do a little more civic development here then, I guess. Let's create another park. Another park would probably be a good idea. Perhaps actually larger park, perhaps. We want to encourage development here, so let's put a park there. There we go. Army base. Budget is bleeding, has been for some time. Armed forces look at our city and think it looks great. So the army base. I think some of these business deals that you get offered are not so good. The army base included. But, well, historically speaking, it would make sense for an army base to be positioned here, a small little fort protecting the settlement from all the folks that we've made ever so angry here. We do have this port over here. This port is a crucial strategic resource here. So how about we pop the army base around here. It does pollute, so we don't want it too close to the farms here. It also creates some industrial demand. Army men need guns and all sorts of other implements of destruction. You know this to be true. And there's our little army base. Connects there. Connects there. Some housing for resident soldiers here. Oh, there's probably more housing than that. We can make a whole little tract to land here. The Army is big business. When the Army comes to town, they bring a lot of money. There we go. Goodness. And then there's some small businesses appealing to the Army man sensibility. Gun shops, barber shops, canned food suppliers. You know what these guys eat. Alright, we can start seeing some of the pesticides run off into the water here. Sad to say. Sad to see. We are now making money again, though. This farm is not doing too well, so away it goes. So let's bring this road over here. Turn this into more residences. Lovely. That's close enough to the town that they have access to the school here. Don't know what these guys are complaining about. Have a little sip of my coffee. Well, we were talking about civic development. Health's good, so people want more water. Budget takes a hit. Words are being neighborly. No hospitals, no health, no hope. Okay, we'll make a hospital. We'll put the hospital, well, right here seems great. We can lower this school budget just a wee bit. We don't actually need that much. Let's raise the hospital budget up though. And let's make a second water tower. Well, how about right here? There we go. That filled in those gaps quite nicely, if I do say so myself. Well, now that we have this water, let's develop. We got kind of a bustling commercial sector here full of small shops, taco stands, and gas stations here. But people want more. So, let's see, where's our most traffic volume here? Traffic volume. Here, and there. So that tracks. So let's make this little area here a little more dense. This is going to be our little downtown commercial corridor here. We can even put a little something there. Ooh, a federal prison. Sure. You know what? This big city, they got all these awful little criminals from the city. They want them far away. How about out here in the boonies where there's hardly any civilization? That's probably what they're thinking. Well, how about over yonder? Far away from town, but still close enough that it's still part of the town. This little roundabout area here. a beautiful federal prison in the panopticon style. They don't like that. But you can't fight City Hall. We'll bring our power lines down here. Some small collection of houses for the guards to live in here. And let's see, if we put just a little general store here, does that connect it? Yes, it does. Excellent. Well, there's our economy. Stolen land, the army, a prison. So, Stahlo Bay, not the nicest place to be living in right now, but we do got a church, a school, and a hospital. I guess if we have a prison now, we might as well have a police station, which would fit in nicely. Where's our crime? Do we even have any? Yes. People are fighting in the fields. And people are spraying graffiti at the port. Some rough and tumble frontier folks out here. Oh, but here we got our little main street developing here. We got these little shops coming too. Including this strange little back alley one. Well, that looks charming. That's a nice little small town street front right there. And let's make this a little denser. Let's see if anything pops up. Oh, immediately. What do we got here now? Refining unit and a cement plant. Big business coming to town. This will employ lots of people here. This will be good for the economy. People are in much better health. Now they're saying there's too much. Now they're saying they want cops. Okay. Wow, that's a big cement plant right there. And goodness, this is not a nice thing to have right next door to your main commercial district here, but remember, this is the beginning of industrialization right now. People are okay living next to the factories in which they work, at least in this stage of history. And when I say that, I mean to say that there are other choices living off of berries in the woods, pretty much. Which, as you can see, we've made quite difficult. Alright, let's lower the hospital budget since apparently we don't need that. Okay, yeah, there we go. Boom. A little more money in the bank for us. Well, let's start getting some more mills going right by the port. No one's actually using the port. Why is this? Is it because I have no roads? Let's make the road a more attractive option here. Besides, we want to be expanding anyways, so we might as well classic sort of bridge situation where it's a tiny little narrow bridge that goes onto a much faster road there. Classic country bridge. Alright, let's actually name this bridge since it's our first one. Stahlo Crossing. There we go. Simple as. And then we have Stahlo Harbor. And Fort Douglas, let's call it. Little ice cream shop next to the prison. Well, it's definitely adding to our economy. You can say that much. A lot of pedestrians. People walk to work here, which is nice. Alright, so we're losing our agricultural demand here, which means it's sort of a use it or lose it sort of situation. We started industrializing too much. We will lose the option to have these farms. That's just the way the economy works. Once it starts industrializing, people prefer working in the factory than picking beetroots. So if we want to have farms in our town, which I do, we gotta start making them now. Insufficient funds. We are running out of money real quick. People want a station. Typically I wait until the first fire to build one of these, but might as well. Well, we got this little gap next to the farmer's market. That looks plenty good to me. We just wait for the boom, there we go. Excellent. You have everything you want now, except for the police. Alright, let's give them the police. Excellent. So now we have the local constabulary. What do you call it? The cops. And some firefighters. So now we have pretty much all the civic amenities one could want. Which should in turn mean we are getting some slight demand for middle class and high wealth residents. And their respective stores and industries. We actually are getting a little bit of manufacturing demand as well, which is great. Manufacturing is way better than dirty industry. Let's take out another loan, why not? Let's take out $75,000 and let's earn that money back, huh? As we get farther out from town, farms are either going to be large or small. There is variation there. They don't always match up with each other. Sometimes it'll be like this, or like that. Now the farms are starting to get a little close to each other. Getting into the hills now even. The real estate available to farmers is sort of it's drying up. Now we're going onto the hillsides even. Sims in this game prefer flat land. It is coded into desirability. We can even see it here, the agricultural development. Like this is bright neon green. These mountains are a little more brownish, you could say. High tech especially wants flat land. So, having said that, that means you gotta be just a little bit conscious of where you're putting your farms. It's not too big a deal. They will build on the hills if no other option is available to them, but they would certainly prefer not to. There's our farm fields all grown out. Any further farm development will have to be down here across the river, which frankly makes more sense anyways. So let's expand some of these little streets out a little more. We're skipping the dirt roads, we can just pave over the streets. Nice, big, giant factory farms that will be able to export their crops and various products on boats over to the city. But, you know, mistakes into accidents into whatever. Oh, here we go. Now we get a nice little street going all the way over here to the little lookout point of the harbor. How are we doing financially? We're closing that gap pretty well. The farms bring in some amount of money. They bring in a lot of jobs, and it's a very easy, inexpensive way to develop your city. I see no reason for farms to be as unpopular as they are in the game. Although I am using the Colossus add-on mod, which does change how it works under the hood just a wee bit. But even without the Colossus add-on mod, I find farms to, at the very least, be visually interesting. Okay, we are in the poorhouse. Let's see what happens here. Well, these lots, more houses are being built on these lots here. We got 2 houses, 4 houses, each on individual lots here. We got in-law units, additional dwelling units, shacks and shelters of all sorts of manners here. Goodness, we're actually losing a lot of money there. We actually overdeveloped just now. Isn't that fascinating? Let's see if maybe, well, we don't have to go that drastic. We don't need a missile silo right now. Perhaps these giant granary farms will give us the boost we need. We're closing the gap just a little bit here. We're closing that gap. We are in the negative, though, for sure. I would prefer not to take out another loan. We already got 2. Lots of room for development. Hands are tied without any money, though. Okay, there. Now I know exactly what we can do. We're going to save our game here. And we will go ahead and develop further out. The utility company needs to sell some of this power here. So what we're going to do is some men from the utility company will start selling some plots of land up north to people looking to farm and build their houses and whatnot here. Up here, north of Stahlo Bay is going to be more farmland here. Nice, wet, fertile land. No direct access to the river here, but you can just take the road down. This beautiful little snow melt valley here. What are we going to call this place? We got a gorgeous little snow melt valley. We're going to have these gentle rolling plains. Now Now this is a SimCity 4 mapper map, meaning that we can't reconcile, so we must be very gentle as we terraform the land to suit our needs here. Only going to be smoothing over some of the bumps on this lower valley here, just for the purpose of making everything nice and pretty. Not even going to get up into the mountains here. Alright, fast forward time. We plant some seeds. I imagine the forest is going to be most dense here in this little snow melt valley here. Snow from the mountains melts in the spring and summer. The clear water flows down the mountain, depositing minerals in this little river valley, going into the Stahlo River. Making it all lush and verdant here. These big mountains stop the clouds, allowing them to deposit their rain here and here and here and here and here. Meaning we have a nice lush forest here full of animals. This is where the local native population would be doing most of their hunting. At this point now, most of the hunting is being done by the descendants of European settlers from Stahlo now. Alright, we get some trees up here in the mountains. There's a little valley here where water collects and deposits. There's these little smaller snow melt tributaries here. Up here though, mostly just dry scrub brush, but there's some areas here where water is getting deposited, and that's where you'll see the most trees. They got a very clever tree algorithm in this game. And there we go. We got our power line right there. What are we going to name this little region north of Stahlo Bay? Well, let's take a look at little Wikipedia here. Stahlo First Nation. I imagine that whatever settlement grows up here will also be named after some sort of a local Indian nation here. So the Stahlo says here are the river people. Prior to this, references were primarily made to individual tribal groups such as the Matsqui or Sumas. Matsqui. Alright, let's name it Matsqui. Not sure how to pronounce it, but neither do the lightly educated Hicks down at Stahlo either. Well, here we go. We are buying power from Stahlo Bay. Not a whole lot. They don't have a lot of power to go around, but power nonetheless. We got our big power line here, extending up the valley. Let's see here. If I can get that to sort of... There we go. And this continues this way. And it creates sort of a power line juncture. Let's say here. And it goes off here. And it goes off here. Power from Stahlo Bay is now extending outwards, allowing people to settle into this little area here. Well, this lush, verdant forest looks great for settling. Let's get a couple of homesteaders going. 2 plots of land for sale, and they are sold. Uh-oh. Well, whatever, that's fine. We create our first crossroads. We ensure that the architectural style fits my preferences as mayor. Small settlements of people right there, not connected to the electric line somehow. How is that? Don't we have it? Are we not buying the electricity? We should. Oh, this is connected. Well, let's build another little thing there. Lights on, everyone's home. Where's the... Oh, okay. Interesting. Well, nothing a little country store can't fix. There we go. Guess that gap's too big. Well, we have some agricultural demand, some residential demand, some commercial demand. We don't actually have a road connecting these two settlements yet. Meaning that people are coming up here on like Conestoga wagons and whatnot. People are coming up here on horseback to settle. Meaning trade is slow and arduous. And we probably won't get a road connection until, oh, I don't know, a bunch more people start living here. So far, we got 23 people. 23 people, including Mr. Let's call him Ernest Bell. Sure. And he lives in this small cabin. He works on a farm. He will be our window into the mind of the average Matsqui resident. What's he thinking? He's got a job in a cotton house. Happy camper. Good for him. A lot can be learned from young Ernest there. There. We're going to build some more farms because that's the whole reason this place exists. It is to satisfy the farm demand of Stahlo Bay as it starts to industrialize. Don't want to cut into this dense forest here just yet. I say as I start cutting into the dense forest. Some more paved roads are going up. Oh, this power line is actually kind of ugly. I'll solve that one later. First, I'd like to start this place off right and make sure it's making a profit. Which, so far, it is not. That is a big gap we have to close. Lots of agricultural demand, though. That is where most of our investment should be going. The market is dictating that we build farms. Yeah, I don't know about you folks, but I do not want to withstand the wrath of the market. I do what the man says. Alright, more farms. Great. Let's build one here. Why not? Just something that we can bulldoze later once the economy tears it asunder. Alright, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tear down this power line. We got the power company connected to that farm over yonder. That little doubled up power line connection was going to drive me crazy. Besides, this now allows us to build a little more freely over here. We definitely want some more commerce here at the crossroads, I'd say. Oh, what do we name the first town in Matsui? Well, we have our first prominent resident, Ernest Bell, who has the mayor's ear. We can say he is sort of part of the founding family here, so we can call this Belltown. Incredible. Wouldn't you want to live here in Belltown? Apparently a lot of people do. Alright, we got some more farms here, so let's get a couple more houses to go along with them. We got a nice big ranch over yonder. Houses for the people working on that ranch. No real industry to speak of. We're not making money yet. We are almost up to an hour now, so I think as soon as this place starts churning a profit, we'll go back over to Stahlo Bay, maybe build out a road to Belltown here. Then we'll have a nice little country road connecting Belltown to the port of Stahlo. Got a big ranch getting built up here. Let's give them a lot of land to go with that. Not too shabby. We are closing that gap up pretty quickly. Make a country store here, country store there. People to work at that country store. Here we go. Now we got a whole other settlement going here. Your commercial areas will often be the center of town life. Because think about it. Where do you see the most other people in your community? The grocery store, the market, the farmer's market, the craft market. Markets are meeting places. That's why when you're scared of going outside, it's called agoraphobia. Because where the hell else are you going to go? The agora, the market. So, if you're looking for a place to designate as the center of town life, well, you can do a whole lot worse than the market. Alright, we're breaking even here. So let's save it. Go back out to a regional view. Matsui and Stahlo Bay. Let's get a road over there. We are in the red. But I think with this new power deal, we are now in the green. So let's hit fast forward a little bit. This power deal is doing good for us. We are making money on that deal, which is great. And now we are out of debt. We're paying off our loans here. And now I get to look at the town and think, what's the best area to connect it? Well, people are mostly going to want to use our port amenities. But then we also want people to pass through the town at crossroads here. So we'll pave over this section of road here, connecting it to Matsui. We'll connect it to the bridge, or don't have quite enough money for that yet. There we go. Alright. And, well, Stahlo Crossing, this lovely little rustic wooden bridge here. Unfortunately, 250 freight trucks is a lot for a little wooden bridge like that. So I think the folks in town are going to get together and say to themselves, we need to get serious about this bridge crossing here. Oh. Well, doesn't that just complicate things? Yeah, we are at an hour. I think we will solve this problem next episode. Let me just save the game here. Get back to our regional view. Well, we went to all the trouble of building out this small little farming community up north, connecting it to our little harbor down here. And then I screwed the whole thing up by knocking down a historic covered wooden bridge. How are we going to get out of this mess? We'll find out soon.